All right, Wolfie. Even though you're already drunk, how do we sound? Dork, say something.
He already said I was good, so I'm assuming I'm still good.
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to tell us to say something.
Dirk.
Well, this is me saying something, so hopefully that's enough to figure out if I sound okay.
I bet he says Dirk sounds quiet. Brian is a bit hot. I think it's the mic he's using.
Yeah, it sounds louder to me too.
I keep turning him down and it keeps not helping. And now he's gone. Brian?
Sorry, what was that? I apologize.
uh yeah, you're just a little loud, but we can't figure out why. I keep turning you down and it keeps not helping.
Well, I am hot.
So we heard.
Lord. Fair enough. Thank you for allowing the show to begin. There, Mr. Intoxicated Sound Man. Uh, all right, dorks, everybody here? Everybody good?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Ow, jam! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode, I think, 603. It's actually been a little while since we did an episode because we've had various issues throughout the time period. Some Thursdays, some people have things going on. Some Thursdays, Mike's work is trying to eat him. That's every Thursday.
And Friday.
So I think we've missed 2 weeks, maybe 3. I can't remember.
I think it's been 2.
Okay, so yeah, because the last episode went up on the 20th. So we've missed 2 weeks of recording, but no big deal. Because stuff happens and then we don't record. Ha!
Real life.
You guys remember
IRL.
when we used to like record every week no matter what? Man, that was weird.
We averaged 50 episodes a year. Because you notice that usually we reach 50 episodes first year, 100 episodes the second year, etc. And part of that was in the first couple of years we would also do like multiple episodes for previews a week. That was tiring. But yeah, and this has not been the year for 50 episodes. It has not.
Not so much. So, as always, I am Chewy, the lead dork, and if I was in The Walking Dead, I'd be dead already.
I'm Brian. I'm the tangent master and lead rambler. Wow, I did this backwards. And I don't know a whole lot about The Walking Dead. I think I saw the first season at some point. But if I was in The Walking Dead, you if I got safe somewhere, I would like never leave. If I had enough food and supplies and I would leave for a minute, I understand the theory about grouping up, but if I'm good, I'm good. I'm just hunkering down. Don't know why everybody in zombie movies has always got to be like, "Look at me," because I would not be looking at me. Look away from me. Look away.
I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy and the game lore guy. And if I was in The Walking Dead, I feel like I would. Oh, I thought I had a joke, but I didn't. Thing in time.
And that in and of itself is the joke.
Yeah. Dang it.
I love you, Mike.
Well, I am Dirk, the self-proclaimed greenest man alive and moral compass of the group. And if I was in The Walking Dead, I, like Brian, would just find some place. I would, if I felt safe in my house, I would just barricade up the house, and I would just hang out here. And I would wait because, depending on the climate you're in, the human body will decompose in about, depending on what season, somewhere between 5 days and 2 weeks. Which astounds me that you got a series where I guess it takes it's years that everything's going on and still there are dead bodies walking around.
Well, it's because the zombies bite people and they become zombies too, so the timer keeps resetting.
Gotcha.
Let's say. Or maybe
Well,
that show's just not real huge on science and realism. Maybe.
or something like that, seeing as I'm pretty sure we've already had a Dirk's Creature Corner about zombies and explaining that zombies could actually never exist. Like the zombies portrayed in The Walking Dead and is it Night of the Living Dead or Day of the Dead or...
It's all the same thing.
Yeah, all those where there's zombie movies and malls. Yeah, those those zombies do not exist because of multiple reasons.
Didn't we do a zombie episode once where Dirk talked about that?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
I'm saying.
Okay, that's what I thought he said.
That's literally how we started talking about that.
Good. Like I listen to Dirk.
I don't.
Dirk,
I'm a
introduce
teacher,
yourself.
so there's
Oh,
no
wait.
reason why I would want to listen to me.
Don't worry, we're not talking about The Walking Dead. That's just something we were talking about earlier. Brian was like, is that show even still going? And so that was what was in my head. So, anyone who's like, oh god, not this show too. No, don't worry. Not this episode. Unless it's Final Thought, in which case, by then you won't care anymore, because we'll be at the end. So, yes, this week... Yeah, but just for real, though, in the event of a zombie apocalypse, I will be one of the people that dies first, because I am a giant wuss. I have no useful skills when it comes to zombie apocalypse. And like anyone who's played Among Us with us, which we do on Fridays here on the Mana Pool, you should join us. Anyone who's played Among Us with us knows that I am just awful in stressful situations. It's not pretty. But anyway, right, so this week, since it's been a while since we did a show, I figured we would just do a recurring feature, because do something nice and familiar to get back in the groove.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we decided, well, I decided, because everyone was like, yeah, that sounds good. We're doing a Mythic Conscription. And the next set up for a Mythic Conscription is Apocalypse.
Which contains no Dracos.
0 out of 10, can't recommend.
Yes. But we should probably take a look anyway. So, what is
so
a
this
Mythic
is not Apocalypse with the big A on his belt with the not great movie from a few years ago, and this is not the place where Darkseid lives. That's spelled wrong.
What if Darkseid is microscopic and he is living on the scalp of Apocalypse?
Oh my god.
Boom. Blew your mind, didn't I?
So wait, are you saying Darkseid is lice? Ew.
Does that make sense? I'm not a big comic person. I keep saying that. Apparently I've gotten more and more indoctrinated into it, but I don't know all the lore. Does that make sense for him?
He's super-powered lice, if so.
He's the kind you need to wash like at least 3 times with that really strong stuff to get out. I got you.
And when you try to use the comb where the tines are really close together, so he scrapes through her, he actually just breaks the one that gets near him.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Darkseid is a dude that even Superman can't just roll up on and take out without a problem. Like, Darkseid is pretty badass.
He killed Goku. Okay.
Well, there goes the comment section.
There we go. Right. So what is a Mythic Conscription?
All right, yes, Mythic Conscription is where we look back at the sets before there was a mythic rarity, look at the rares, and try to figure out which, if any, would have been mythic if the mythic rarity existed as printed. So we're not like, well, if there was such a thing as mythic, this would have cost 2 less. No.
Yeah.
As
And
printed.
we are horribly inconsistent about what actually makes a mythic. It depends on how we're feeling in any given week. So feel free to let us know if you agree or disagree down in the comments or on Twitter or in the Discord or wherever. These are all things you should follow us in all these places. By the way, you should join the Manapool Discord server. It's awesome. We're all very friendly and awesome.
Everyone gets a free puppy.
Everyone gets a free puppy. It's not a real puppy, but sure, you still get a puppy. It's actually a puppy that lives in your mind. Actually, now you have a free virtual puppy right now. You're welcome. You didn't even have to join the server, but you still should. And follow me on Twitter. And what was the other thing? Leave comments? Yeah, there you go. Anyway, let's move on.
Right.
All right, so there are only 4 cards in each color that were rare. So.
Oh, and hey, this time I thought I was gonna be smart, and I put into the search is rare and is not uncommon. And you know what? It still pulled up Brass Herald. Right. So, shall we start?
I wonder how that works.
I don't think it does.
I don't know. The lane operators in Gather have never worked properly.
That is accurate. Yeah.
This was my attempt. It didn't work. I'm a functioning human brain, so I see the uncommon symbol. I can figure it out. So,
excuse me.
So white. I felt like there's one that's got a pretty good shot at being mythic, and then I've got a question mark. Shall I get us started, or someone else want to start?
Yeah, you're already talking. Go for it.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, so I feel like the easy white mythic is Gerard Caption.
Ooh, easy.
What's that?
So easy.
So Gerard for 3 and a white is a 3/4.
Wait, you want to do that again?
Gerard for 3 and 2 white. Did I say 3 and a white?
Yeah.
That would make him better. A 3 and 2 white is a 3/4. See, a human soldier. This just says legend.
Human soldier.
Human soldier. I guessed correctly. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 1 life for each card in target opponent's hand, and he has an ability pay 3 and a white, haha, for real, to tap target creature. Play this ability only if he's attacking, only if this creature, Gerard, is attacking. Now you might go, Brian, that's not super mythic, and I agree. It's not.
You are correct.
It's not very high power level for what we have now. But first of all, 2 things. First of all, creatures now leagues above creatures then. That's the first thing. Second thing is this little thing called the Weatherlight Saga, which every set, has a story involved with it. And sometimes they contribute toward a larger story. You might think of some of the sets leading up to War of the Spark as like the Bolus arc or whatever. Well, the Weatherlight Saga started in Mirage, sometime around there.
Yeah, the set right before that.
Okay.
Well, no, it's in Mirage. Well, no, I'm sorry, I got to think backwards.
I was say it was 2 sets after Mirage. Mirage
Okay.
Visions and then Weatherlight's where it started.
Okay, well, they had been dropping some stuff about Yawgmoth and Phyrexia for a long time, but this was the longest running story in the game at that point, and the central protagonist is Gerard Caption. So, from a story perspective, even if the card isn't great, he's like the legend of legends. So to see him here, it's kind of iconic. Side note, did anybody else ever seem to notice that when you see a long-standing legend in card form, it was always the set that they died in?
Yeah, it was always the big finale for
Yep.
someone or something.
I kind of noticed that after a while. There's some exceptions, like Kamal, but otherwise it's always like, hey, here's a character you've always wanted to see, and this may be the last time for reasons we can't get into. So, but Mythic Conscription, Gerard, yay, nay, maybe? Questions, comments? Dirk, anybody?
Hmm. I mean, of those choices, yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's the
mean
most
between the other white cards?
Yeah.
Okay. Mike, what
Yeah,
were you going to say?
that's the most reasonable one. You know, if they wanted to go the Lotus Cobra route with the choice, they would probably pick Spectral Lynx, but Gerard is just a better all-around choice.
Which I find it funny that you say the Lotus Cobra route, because, and I get exactly what you mean, because Lotus Cobra being a mythic at the time it was printed, people were like, huh, because it was clearly just, power level.
Hmm.
And I find it funny because they just reprinted Lotus Cobra as a rare. So, aha, time fixes all wounds or whatever. Chewy, what do you think?
I think white sucks. So, like, Spectral Lynx is a 2/1 for 2 that's pro-green and pay a black to regenerate. At rare. Which at the time, I'm sure was awesome, but...
You can't do a 2/1. A 2/1 for 1. That's with abilities. That's a better Savannah Lions. That's crazy, man. You're crazy. He's crazy. Okay, so that's Spectral Lynx, and yeah.
None of the
Ooh.
Volvers are mythic.
Agreed.
No, I think the white one and the red one were the only ones that saw like serious straight-faced play, but they're not mythic level in terms of how good they are.
Yeah. Like, the Volvers, for those that don't know, they're cards of this color, and they have kickers of their 2 enemy colors.
Because
That,
the theme for this set was enemy color combinations.
Yes. But they have kickers of their enemy colors that give them +1/+1 counters and abilities. Like, Degavolver's a 1/1 for 1 and a white. If you pay
Yes.
1 and a black kicker, it gets 2 +1/+1 counters and has pay 3 life to regenerate. And if you pay the red kicker, it gets 1 +1/+1 counter and has first strike. So if it costs 1, 2, a black and a red and a white, then it's a 1, 2, 3, a 4/4 with first strike and regenerate for, what did I just say? 5 mana across 3 colors, which is okay, but not mythic.
I mean, again, creatures were a lot worse back then, but I'm not fighting you on that one. Side note, kind of makes some memory issues with the whole first strike thing, and I checked on Gather, they have not updated this to say it gets a first strike counter on it, probably because it would change mechanically the way it works. But
yeah,
but
I mean, you're expected to be able to know, and I think that's why each ability gives a different number of
counters.
+1/+1 counters. You're expected to know by the number of counters on it which kickers you paid for.
Yeah. Right, just a potential issue. But yeah, is this mythic? No.
No. And then I'm sure your question mark was probably False Dawn.
It was False Dawn. And it's a question mark, like, if you think of 50%, this is at like 10% or less.
Yeah, what's False Dawn do?
False Dawn, for 1 and a white, it's a sorcery. And I think this is probably the same in Gather, but no, it is different. So this is the Gatherer text. 1 and a white for a sorcery. Until end of turn, spells and abilities you control that would add colored mana instead add that much white mana. Until end of turn, you may spend white mana as though or mana of any color. Draw a card.
Yeah, so your Fist of the Suns now gives you 5 white.
Right.
And ouch. You can use it to cast, I don't know, the Volley of Boulders or whatever the thing with the giant stack of red mana for the flashback cost. Was that Volley of Boulders?
Yeah, Volley of Boulders has a stack of red mana for flashback.
Yeah, you can use your 5 white that you got from Fist of the Suns to go towards that stack of red mana.
No, Fist of the Suns doesn't make mana. It lets you pay Wooburg instead of the cost of stuff.
What's the one that gives you not Fist of the Suns. There's something that just from that set that just gives you a Wooburg if you do stuff. I thought.
Crystal Quarry?
Maybe. Anyway, so
excuse me, wrong card, but
all the mana you get is white, but you can also use white for everything. Fair enough.
That's gonna bug me now.
So
wait, what does Fist of the Suns do?
You can pay Wooburg instead of the cost of spells you cast.
Oh,
wow, that's a complete non-bow with this, isn't it? Because Fist of the Suns requires you to pay Wooburg, and this says you can't.
Yeah, the updated text of False Dawn is actually functionally different from the printed text because of what it says. The printed text seems like it would say False Dawn says, www, but it doesn't.
Whoa.
So anyway, I guess it was my question mark because I thought it was kind of unique, but there are so many. We'll get to this in a bit. There are a lot of gold cards because it's a gold set. I didn't think we really had to press too hard for multiple mythics in colors, or in some colors, any at all.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too worried about it. But Gerard, so important to the story, even though he's a lackluster card. At the time, I could see people being like, how do I use this? Plus, a free Gerard's Wisdom every turn, because he's Gerard. Yeah, I could see people being like, I can make that work.
Because he's Gerard. He just has his wisdom with him.
I mean, it makes sense, right? It's better like Gerard having Bob's wisdom. He's just borrowing Bob's wisdom. Well, he's at least as smart as Bob, so maybe that's true. Anyway, so that's all the cards in white. Blue. Black. So I had for black. No, I kid you not. I
think Ice Cave is a nifty mythic.
Ice Cave is the closest one to being a mythic of the four.
You got to sell me on it. Go ahead.
It's okay. So Ice Cave for 3 and 2 blue. It's a enchantment. Whenever a player casts a spell, any other player may pay that spell's mana cost. If a player does, counter that spell.
Oh wait, I thought it said copy the spell. I'm sorry.
So the fact that you
Never mind.
For me, the reason why I think it's the closest one is that it adds an interesting dynamic to the game. So, player casts a spell, which means if a person's going to counter your spell, you can pay whatever that spell's cost is and counter a counter spell.
Huh, I didn't honestly even think about that. That's kind of hilarious.
Or if just anything that's going to hit the board that you're just going, no.
But you have to pay.
As long as you have the mana, you can make it not happen.
But you don't pay the converted mana cost. You pay the mana cost.
Yeah, mana cost includes color.
Right.
But then the person who played the counterspell can just pay.
Yeah. Pay the cost again.
No, but they can't counter that ability. They can't counter the trigger.
Yeah, they can't counter the ability. Okay, never mind. Scratch that.
Yeah.
My head just fell off. Hang on, let me pick it back up.
I mean, I guess I can see where you're coming from. Mike, you said you changed your mind.
Yeah, because I read it wrong and I remembered it wrong, and I thought it said copy the spell. So yeah, I totally retract what I was saying.
So you don't. I just want to be clear. You don't think that it's mythic now.
No, I do not.
See, did you hear that, Brian, with his... So let me get this clear. That's why I want Brian to play Among Us with us sometime.
Dude, okay, not to toot my own horn, but I literally talk for a living, and the point of my job is to get you to agree with me. You do understand that, right?
Yeah, sounds reasonable. Yeah. Wait, he's doing it again.
No, I'm not. You're the imposter. Get out of here. Right. Anyway,
Damn, I guess I am. Vote me off, y'all. Anyway.
So, like I said before, okay, let's be fair. If we feel like we got to have a mythic from this color, Ice Cave, probably better than the other choices, but there are lots of gold cards. I'm honestly feeling like none of these are quite mythic. The Volver, so this one is blue, and then the kickers are red and green. If you pay the red, it comes in with counters and has first strike. If you pay the green, it has a counter and has trample. Okay, sure, but again, the Volvers all kind of work the same. Unnatural Selection got actually really interesting when Onslaught rolled around, but just on itself, at the time that this was printed, would have been much more of just a like, neat kind of novelty card. And I love
Unnatural Selection basically just an uncommon these days.
That would not surprise me. And then Whirlpool Warrior, I love, and I have Whirlpool Warrior in my Maelstrom Wanderer EDH deck, but it doesn't feel mythic to me.
Okay, so Whirlpool Warrior for 2 and a blue is a 2/2. Is it just a Merfolk? Now it's a Merfolk Warrior for some reason. Oh, because it says Warrior in its name.
Yeah, I think I know the reason.
Shut up. When it enters the battlefield, you shuffle cards from your hand into your library, then draw that many cards. So if you're playing Hearthstone these days, it's a plot twist. And then you pay a red and sacrifice it, and everybody shuffles cards from their hand into their library and draws that many cards.
So I think the biggest plus in the column for saying this could be mythic is because it harkens back to a Power 9 card, which, as we know, that is one of the things where when you have something that feels like it's referencing a really important card from Magic's history, that is a possibility. And this is not, well, I said Power 9. Wheel of Fortune is not a Power 9 card, but it is a card from Magic's history. I still just don't know that it's quite enough to get there on its own. Again, I really enjoy the card, but I don't know. There's something about it. I'm just like, I feel like this is a very safe rare, you know?
I mean, they're all very safe rares, except for maybe Unnatural Selection, which is a slightly powerful uncommon. But yeah, I'm not sold on Ice Cave because of the it's not converted mana cost, it's just mana. If it was converted mana cost, the card would be insane and busted. But since it's not, it's whatever.
Yeah, and a card doesn't have to be insane and busted to be mythic, but it has to be like, it has to really catch your attention. Good to move to black.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, blue sucks.
What's everybody? Dirk, since we disagreed with you on blue, what's your pick for black?
Wrong. Oh wait, I gotta wait for him to say it.
And do you have more than one, or and what?
I'd say Phyrexian Arena.
Wrong. Oh, okay, sorry.
So,
But if Phyrexian Arena was mythic, I wouldn't have as many of them.
that is probably one of the most compelling reasons. So, in case you've been living under a rock for how many years now, Dirk, what does Phyrexian Arena do?
For 1 and 2 black, it's an enchantment. It says, at the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. It's what makes Mike's life go round.
Yes, it does.
It is an incredibly powerful card. As long as you have a way of gaining life or doing something, then it essentially is a personal. Essentially, it's a personal Howling Mind.
You don't have to have a way
Howling
of
Mind.
gaining life. You just got to win first.
That's
It's going to be
true.
easy.
Yeah,
Draw all these cards.
If you got good enough cards, you can outpace your opponent in terms of that
Yeah.
life
I
loss,
just
right?
drew all these cards.
so I like how this shows something kind of fundamental about their play styles, and I'm not making fun of either Mike or Dirk for this. Dirk has always been one because he's played so much multiplayer over that's his bread and butter. That when he sees a card that has any downside, especially life loss, his first instinct is to counteract it. And Mike's is just to kind of play
Like,
through
no,
it.
you just go faster.
Just kind of ignore it and hope you win. Which
Faster,
explains
more intense.
which explains a lot of his fascination with these crazy demons. Now that I think about it, but it's just I'm just noting both of you are correct in your own way. I tend to agree a little more with Mike here, just because you're getting the card advantage. Now, at a certain point, being able to recoup a little bit may not hurt, but the fact that you're getting all this card advantage is what makes it awesome in the first place. I would probably agree. I think this could have been Mythic at the time it was printed. It's been reprinted as a rare many times, but I could see this being a Mythic that when it was printed, it's evocative of an important part of the story. Can't talk. As far as what's going on here, what's being depicted on the card, and the effect is really strong. I had my eye as well on Desolation Angel.
That's what I would have said.
Yeah.
Well, if you're so smart and you agree with me, which is always right, what does it do?
Now wait just a minute.
So Desolation Angel, I picked for the flashiness factor. For 3 black. It's a 5/4 with flying. It's an angel. What kind of type does it have right now? It's an angel. No job. Good job, angel.
Most
Drain
angels
on the
don't have
economy.
jobs.
Yeah. So it has a kicker of white. And when Desolation Angel enters the battlefield, destroy all lands you control. If it was kicked, destroy all lands instead. So for 5, you get a 5/4 with flying, and all your lands go away, which is not amazing.
Not amazing, but at the time, a 5-power flyer for 5 mana was ahead of the curve. So maybe you're just like, I've already got you down. This is the finishing touch.
Yeah. But for 7, you have a 5/4 flying, and you've also shut down your opponent's lands.
Yeah, you have an Armageddon.
Yes.
So now, I don't want to get too far ahead, but there's actually a similar card in red that has an incredibly similar ability that I don't think is Mythic. So I feel a bit of a hypocrite here, but I just think destroying lands, especially this quantity, that the fact that it's symmetrical, for me, really puts us over the top. Plus, as you said, I think you said the flashiness factor. I mean, angels are always one of those iconic card types, creature types, and you don't see as many in black. You see mostly in white. You do see them in black, then probably more than other colors. There's definitely more black angels than green, for example, but it's still unusual. So, yeah, I definitely think Desolation Angel.
How many green angels are there, Mike?
How many green angels? They're probably limited to the Bant Shard and Shards of Alara, and maybe a couple they're scattered here and there.
I think almost all of them certainly would have to be green and white. I don't have the data for that, but I feel like that's a pretty safe thing.
Yeah.
Gabriel Angel Fire, did he finally make angel status?
Yeah, I think he counts as an angel.
Okay.
Okay, what'd I miss? Anything good?
Desolation Angel.
I mean, I was here for the beginning of that. We still there? Good.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't really have any comments on anything to say in favor of the other cards.
Here's what we can say. Black was a lot better, had more choices than blue did.
Yes, it did.
In that it had any.
Yeah.
Like, I could see Planar Despair being Mythic just to limit it showing up in Limited.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a crappy reason for something to be Mythic.
Mm-hmm.
And Necrovolver, of course, sucks.
One of those kicked creatures where if you do this, then this is what happens, and blah, 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 blah.
That is literally all of the kicked things, yeah.
Yeah, Necrovolver is cool because it's one of the ones that can get the Spirit Link. And if you make it big, then you're getting even more life. So that's fun. But it's not Mythic.
I'm about to say, if in terms of Mythic, if it's a card that makes another card really good, I don't think that would characterize it as being Mythic.
Wait, what? No, it gets Spirit Link with the white kicker.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not saying if you put a Spirit Link on it, it's good. No.
Yeah. You can say that about many creatures on this page.
Even the dumb ones. But yeah, probably the Deso Angel. I think Phyrexian Arena, as powerful as it is, I think it's fine at rare.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since it's been rare many times. Well, maybe not
Yeah.
three many. Oh, no, lots of times. It was an 8th
Yeah,
and 9th, and Plane Chase, a Dual Dex, a Commander, and Conspiracy Take the Crown. Oh, I forgot about that.
Mhm. Yeah, but the point about it showing off a very an important story point, that's a really pivotal moment. And it kind of harkens back to some old Magic cards. It's kind of a combination of references to Helling Mine and Necropotence.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we've got big story spotlight cards are commons nowadays, so
That's true. They want people to see them.
yeah.
They hesitate to put them at Mythic.
So yeah, probably the Desolation Angel, because why not destroy all lands at Mythic? Ugh. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud?
Yes.
Ugh. All right, so I wonder how come Brian typed, "Hey, I'll be right back." Probably the same reason I did. Now that I think about it, how hypocritical of me! I got up to go refill my drink and typed it in our Discord chat, and Brian said "BRB," but didn't say out loud "BRB." I'm like, I wonder why, and then I realized I did it too, and that's my story.
Sticking to it.
Yeah, see, self-awareness right there. Boom. I learned something about Brian and about myself in that whole thing. All right, so let's go to Red. Red has some nonsense. Can I ask a very serious question?
Go for it.
What the hell is the Wreck-Evolver? It looks like a Minotaur with dragon wings. And
And a fancy shield.
what's up with its hand? Looks like it's
carrying
got
a whip or something.
I can't tell what's going on. Because the resolution on this scan is really bad. So it is. We're saying it's a Minotaur with dragon wings, though, right?
Right.
Yeah, totally. Okay, just checking. That's the only Volver that I had for a very long time, and I kept trying to put it in decks, and no.
Yes.
It
is a Minotaur with a whip and a shield.
Oh wait, that's its hand. Well, wait, what? If that's its hand, what the hell is this? Does it have two things coming out of the elbow? What is...
Wait, what? Okay,
There you
now I
go.
think I see what you're talking
Oh,
about.
hang on. Dirk found us a better picture. Oh! Okay, so hang on. Let me get this on screen for the chat. Okay, so I was seeing like this on the terrible oh, you don't see my mouse. There we go. I was seeing this bit right here on the terrible resolution, and I thought that this was like a hand or had been replaced with a hook or something, but no.
Mm-hmm.
On the terrible resolution, I see it's just got a big beefy arm, and my eye was playing a trick. It's okay.
Well, looking at the card and everything, his snout looked like a human head. And then I thought his head was underneath and then like the side of his body that has nothing on it, like the bare chest side on the left, I thought was the other half, like the part of the human, and I didn't. I was looking at it and going, I don't know what in the world I'm looking at.
Dirk's
But
like,
yeah, the
am
close-up
I
picture, I'm like,
tripping?
oh, okay, yes, I
I
understand
see it now at the small side. Man, that looks at the small size. That looks freaky.
Yeah, it does. But with the big size, yeah, we can see what's really going on here. It is, in fact, a Minotaur with dragon wings and a whip and a fancy shield. Whew, thank goodness.
Looks like a heavy metal cover.
A little bit, yeah. All right. Dirk, I'm glad you found that. Thank you.
I'm glad too, because I was super confused looking at the picture too.
All right, so Rack of Oliver, no. So I mean, the obvious one is Desolation Giant, right?
Yep.
Yeah, even Brian, before he left, said he didn't think he would count it as mythic. I love Desolation Giant. Desolation Giant is awesome.
Well, yeah, Desolation Giant is awesome, but Brian might have something there. It does cost 6 mana to destroy all creatures and get a 3/3,
Yeah.
which is a good deal, but it's still 2 red, red, white, white. So
Well,
it's
I mean,
2
it
red,
costs
red.
7 for the Desolation Angel to take all the lands out.
Well, yeah, but you want that to be massively expensive because that's a dick move. But like for 2 red, red, it's a 3/3 giant. When it enters the battlefield, destroy all other creatures you control. And the kicker's white, white. And if you paid the kicker, you destroy all other creatures instead. So you can get a 3/3 for 4 if you blow up the rest of your stuff. Which, if you don't have any stuff, at the time, a 3/3 for 4 was okay. Not great, but fine. But really, you save it to be a Wrath and have the only creature on the board.
Then cast Biorhythm.
Shut up, Dirk. So, yeah. So what did Brian say what it would be?
I guess if he didn't think it was mythic, he thought it would be rare. Or are you not? Or are you asking a different question?
Well, what I meant was, what would be the mythic?
No, he didn't get that. We were just talking about black. Brian just brought it up in comparison to Desolation Angel.
Ah, okay. I mean, there's Bloodfire Colossus for 6 red, red is a 6/6. Is it still a giant? It is.
Yes.
So
And you pay a red and sacrifice it to deal 6 damage to each creature and each player. So it's an Inferno. That is a 6/6 before it Infernos.
I love Bloodfire Colossus. It's awesome.
Is it
You
mythic
would.
though?
You would.
It's big and exciting. It has
It's definitely
could be
big and exciting.
It could be a Timmy mythic.
I can see it. For me, it's a little borderline. I can see it getting there. At the time it was printed, I can see it getting there, definitely. It goes boom.
It does goes boom. So Brian, why do you think Desolation Giant might not be mythic?
I kind of had a question mark next to it. I'm always wary of wrath effects, and I know that we just got done talking about Desolation Angel, and I draw a difference between Wrath of God and Apocalypse. Wait, it's not that's a red card. Armageddon. They are so similar there, though, but a giant isn't necessarily as iconic as an angel. Maybe I'm just showing my basis. Is that racist? I don't know. But for me, I definitely had the Colossus, and I looked at the angel. I'm like, it's almost like the mirror of the angel, the Desolation Giant and Desolation Angel. I don't know. What do you think? You think it's mythic?
I mean, not especially, but it's probably the best choice.
Red is hard. Wild Research and Rackavolver, Moose Guy. No.
I think Wild Research has a case.
All right, what's it do?
For 2 and a red, it's a white enchantment. It's a red enchantment for 2. Goodness gracious. For 2 and a red. It has a red enchantment.
It's
It's
a
first
rare red enchantment. That is already a bad sign.
Yeah. So for 1 and a white, you can search your library for an enchantment card and reveal it, put it in your hand, and then discard a card at random and shuffle your library. Similarly, for 1 and a blue, you can search your library for an instant, reveal it, put it into your hand, discard 1 at random, and shuffle your library. So you can just dig through your deck and get whatever you want and maybe keep it. But if you have enough cards in your hand, you're going to have a really strong chance of keeping it. It's wacky
And I know you like wacky cards.
when they work.
Red's tough. Blue, you've at least got options here. I think between the Bloodfire Colossus, maybe the Wild Research, maybe the Desolation Giant, and maybe Chewy disagrees with me as far as the order of those. All of them at least have kind of a shot, as long as it's not Rack Evolver, right? Compare that to like blue, where it's like no. So I don't know. I really don't know when it comes to red sometimes. Dirk, what do you think?
Dirk, you are muted.
Or not there?
Or not there. I mean, either one is a possibility.
Sorry, my daughter came and started distracting me, and you probably can hear her in the background.
Daughters do
That's
that.
her job.
Yeah.
Wait, how old is Penny?
4.
Yeah, that's her job. She's putting in overtime, though. Wow, look at that.
I say it's past her bedtime. What is she doing up for?
Is there a red card you feel is more mythic than the others?
Desolation Giant was my pick.
All right, so we are all so Dirk and Chewy are on the Desolation Angel is kind of the best choice, kind of sorta, is that right?
Giant.
Giant. And I'm thinking the Colossus, and Mike is thinking the Wild Research.
Mm-hmm.
All right then.
I mean, Rack Evolver, that's my choice.
Yeah.
No.
All right, let's go to green.
Okay, well, green's easy. All right,
It is?
so gold.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Now,
have anything for green that I can defend.
really, you don't think that symbiotic deployment could be mythic?
I guess that's the only one I would choose just for the weirdness factor.
It is definitely weird.
That it is. So
For 2 and
symbiotic.
a green, it's an enchantment that says... Wait, let me get the... Or, nope, it's the same. Skip your draw step and pay
Yes.
1 and tap 2 untapped creatures you control to draw a card. So this is one of those end of the turn, draw 2 or 3 cards and then start your turn type things.
It ties your card because it skips your regular card draw. It ties your card draw to the creatures you control, which, if you get blown out, is absolutely horrible for you, but otherwise can start getting completely and utterly ridiculous. So anything that enables almost unchecked card draw, I'm like, this also has a relatively low cost, so you could easily drop this later in the game. You wouldn't drop this turn 3 with nothing out. That's dumb. But either that or not dumb, but you're playing it kind of risky. But if you put it down late game and immediately start drawing way more cards than you should, at instant speed, I could see this being mythic, especially at the time that it was printed. That's my opinion. Mike, you didn't think that any of these qualified?
No, they're all pretty normal, except for symbiotic deployment, which is weird, and that's why it's the only one that approaches it.
The art on Anavolver is by far the best of all the Volvers. Like, not even close. It is. I feel like that is an objective truth.
He's a happy something.
Well, you don't
Volver.
like the Todd Spencer Degavolver with all the Pokebits?
No.
The shiny muscles and the Pokebits on the monster?
No.
Wait, was that the? That was the white one, yeah.
Yeah. No. I just thought this one actually looked kind of like something we hadn't seen a million times before. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I like it.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
think
anyway.
I ended up with like 3 of these opening booster packs. I was like, oh, great.
Yeah, the Kavu Mauler is just
No.
bad.
It's only great in Kavu Tribal, and when I say great, I mean playable.
So for 4 green, it's a Kavu with trample. That's a 4/4. And when it attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each other attacking Kavu. Yeah.
Kabu are not cheap.
No.
Well, and they have to be attacking too. That's extremely narrow.
Yeah. And then Penumbra Worm. I love Penumbra Worm with every
Penumbra
fiber of my
rules.
being, but it's just a big dumb green card. Like for 7 mana, it's a 6/6 with trample, but when it dies, you get a black 6/6 with trample. Because it's a shadow.
Yeah.
And it's awesome, but not mythic.
Yeah.
And symbiotic deployment is weird, but not good. So yeah.
Yeah, it's strange that it's in green, just from the nature of if something goes wrong, you're completely locked out of the game.
Yeah, someone
Green
hits
doesn't
you
really
with
have cards that say that.
blow up your stuff and discard some cards. Oh, well, you're out later.
Hopefully, you have a way to sacrifice your own enchantment
In your hand.
or on the
Yeah.
field.
Or on the field, if that was a thing back then.
Or if someone kicked the Desolation Angel, you were also kind of screwed.
I feel like yes, but Dark. I feel like that's a very blanket. Like a kick Desolation Angel is going to screw a lot of things.
Yeah. But at least, everybody else is drawing a card with hopefully a land to get them re-jump started. Nope.
So yeah, let's just go to gold. Green sucks. Sorry, Dirk.
But
Oh no, I totally agree with you on this one.
but gold, and for some reason my thing also includes the colorless in here. I'm not sure why.
For some reason, Gatherer sorts 3 color cards at the very end, after colorless.
It's just weird.
Oh, I sorted by collector number and got it.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what's going on, because I've got all of the 2 color stuff, and then the 5 color stuff, and then the colorless stuff, and then the 3 color, and I'm like, I don't understand. So, right.
Yeah, I don't know what order you guys are looking at. Like I said, I sorted mine by collector number, and it's just all the gold cards in alphabetical order.
Yeah, I sorted mine by color, and for some reason when you do that with Gatherer, it dumps the 3 color cards at the very end of the list.
Yeah, that's why I sorted by collector number, was for that reason.
Well, since we're going to spend all our time on multicolor, do we want to hit lands and artifacts before we get to that?
Sure, why not? Lands are the enemy color pain lands. They are not mythic. They are awesome.
They are fine, and they are rare.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We got Brass Herald, who's an uncommon, so we're not talking about him. We've got the Mask of Intolerance, which is
a rare.
If that, it's a weird tech card.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
It is dumb, yeah. And then there's the Legacy Weapon,
Which is very, 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 very mythic.
I would
It's
take away
very mythic.
one of those varies, maybe 2, but otherwise, yes.
So, Mike, what is the legacy weapon?
The legacy weapon is the Weatherlight and all the collection of special artifacts in the Legacy collection, in Urza's Legacy collection of artifacts. It's a legendary artifact. It's rare. It costs 7. It has an activated ability: white, blue, black, red, green. Exile target permanent. And if a legacy weapon would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal it and shuffle it into its owner's library instead.
This is a big deal from both the story perspective, like Gerard, but also the effect this has on the field. I once played this in a game and with Corey and Chewy, and they were unable to remove it, so that ended up just being the game because there was no point in continuing. Because I was just gonna, exile 1 or 2 or 3 things a turn.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it was pretty gross.
It was pretty disgusting, honestly. And I can say that as the person that built the deck to do that exact thing. So, yeah. And again, from a story perspective, like, if we talk about Gerard being the protagonist, this is the... I don't necessarily like this word because it's used derogatorily, but this is the MacGuffin. This is the mystical... This is the Excalibur, basically, that kind of was the way that the good guys win. So it was the focus. So, yeah, Mythic. Feel like it's pretty darn safe to be Mythic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So those are the colorless cards.
Yep. All right, so back up to the gold cards. I have no idea. I got nothing.
I got several.
I mean, yeah, I don't know where to start. So go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, let's start with I don't know, let's just kind of go down the list. So I've resorted mine with collector number as well. You know what? Let's start at the bottom because that's where we are. Yawgmoth's Embrace is something completely different. Bad touch. Yavimaya Embrace. I have a lot of fond memories of because it was one of the first rares I ever opened from a booster pack, and it is very safely rare. It is a control magic that gives the creature +2/+2 and trample, and it costs 8 to do, which is probably because control magic is 5 or 6, and then you add on the other stuff, and it's perfectly safe. It's expensive, but it's nothing about it is super wow. And art is not the final determiner. Something can be really goofy and still be really awesome. But they have even said at WotC that they try to commission sharper art, like more compelling art for stuff they think people will want to get because it helps sell the set. This is a dude being lifted by vines. That is what is going on here.
Yeah.
So that's a long way of saying Yavimaya Embrace is not Mythic. Vindicate, though. Would anybody like to indicate that Vindicate is a Mythic?
No, not for something this clean and straightforward.
Are you saying basic to this?
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
in a nutshell.
I'm just saying this is, Vindicate is awesome, and it's the fact that this existed in the white-black color combination, it influenced the design of many other cards through the years. But something this, kill that. It's not Mythic.
Even though it can blow up literally anything.
Even though it can blow up literally anything.
Okay.
Was that even a thing at the time? Had this text ever been printed?
No, Vindicate was the one. Well, no, I'm sorry. Desert Twister.
Oh, for twice the price, and
Yeah.
in green for some reason. What? Right? Desert Twister cost 6.
Cost 6.
So,
Yeah. 4 green.
So, Vindicate, I mean, I agree with you that a kill spell is almost never going to make it. I wonder if this one's a little different because A, it is very almost unique, and B, this is the pivotal. This depicts the moment in the story, the moment when the good guys win. Like it is like it's basically, you remember Theros block. This is deicide. This is them striking down the big bad. So I'm not saying that to be like, yeah, this has got to be mythic. I'm just saying this is the most mythic you can get a spell that basically says I'm a kill spell.
Yeah.
Does it get there? I think that's going to be more of a personal choice kind of thing. And given the fact that we still have a lot of gold to go through and some cards that I really don't think we're going to disagree on, I could see leaving this as a bit of a like maybe yes, maybe no.
Yeah. One more thing I will say is that
Sure.
the definitive rare the definitive kill spell from a set doesn't get printed at Mythic. It's rare. You know, the Hero's Demise, the Abrupt Decay, the Vindicate, the Vraska's whatever it was, stuff like that. It's rare.
Oh, dude, I loved Vraska's whatever it was.
Yeah.
Vraska's Scorn?
I don't remember.
Contempt? Stare?
Mild displeasure.
Vraska's...
Someone in the chat. Save us.
Razor Burn. Vraska's Razor Burn.
Vraska's Contempt. That's
Contempt.
Oh, I was right. Damn, I'm good.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. Suffocating Blast is kind of cool. No. Spiritmonger. Yes.
This one's hard because Spiritmonger was such a force in tournament Magic.
I thought you were going to say beast, and it is a beast, so I really wanted you to say that.
I hate you. But so Spiritmonger for 3, a black and a green is a 6/6 for 5, which let us remind you that creatures back then were bad. So a 6/6 for 5, and we're not even done yet, is absolutely ridiculous. When it deals damage to a creature, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. When it deals damage to a creature, you pay a black to regenerate it, and you pay a green to make it the color of your choice until end of turn, which gave it some weird uses.
Well, I mean, because Dark Banishing and Terror were like the thing.
But it's already black.
Well, you had to point that out. You know, for the longest time, I thought that was why that had that ability. I wonder if I'm thinking of Wild Mongrel. Anyway, yeah, weird uses. This was also the first, like, community-created card, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It was it was a created card. It wasn't done by people in R&D. I don't even remember the whole story behind it anymore. Was this this wasn't an invitational card because it doesn't depict the person on it anywhere. But it was designed by a player.
Okay.
No, I think I'm getting something wrong. I'm getting some other story mixed up.
How the Notorious Spiritmonger was created from a fan contest.
Okay.
They had an idea back in 1999. Let the fans make up a creature. So they asked for stuff. They got over 12,000 entries. 11 were presented on the website. And basically, they designed the art and kind of went from there. So yeah, it was actually designed by someone submitting the design and R&D like tweaking it a little bit. So,
Trippy.
so does that make it, now legit question, does that make it more mythic or less? I could see the argument going either way.
Good question.
That I don't think I ever knew that about Spiritmonger because again, this was during the period when I wasn't playing. Well, it would be another 2 years before I started playing again. Jesus. Right? Because it went Odyssey, Invasion, Odyssey, Onslaught, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Invasion, Odyssey, Onslaught.
You see, children, back in the day, Magic sets were released in what were called blocks. Anyway, no.
That was a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah.
Some blocks were just right and some were way, 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 way too long.
But given just, okay, the fact that it's got a unique origin and the fact that it's damn good for a creature back then.
Yeah. A 6/6 for 5 with no drawback.
No, it can grow. It can defend itself. It can protect itself. It can change colors.
It's a flow wax. It's a dessert topping.
Yeah.
And it makes Julian fries.
It makes thousands of julienne fries. Damn it.
I think this one's probably mythic.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's a controversial statement at all. You know what my biggest problem with it being mythic is that it's okay to have the same color combination, have multiple mythics, but in a set like this, I don't know how many like of each 2-color pairing you would want to have that. And Pernicious Deed is mythic as all get out. Like, will fairly strongly believe that.
Let's talk about Pernicious Deed right now.
Pernicious Deed for a 1 and a black and a green. I'm pulling up the Oracle text.
It's the same.
It's exactly the same. So for 1, a black and a green. It's enchantment. It just kind of sits on the field until you're ready for it, and then you pay X and sacrifice Pernicious Deed to destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with converted mana cost X or less.
Or less.
Again, iconic story moment, what Freylease is doing with a big bomb, but also that essentially reads non-land permanence as of when this was printed originally, because there was no such thing as planeswalkers. So, and if anything, we look at the time that it was printed, the fact that it actually has an exclusion now makes it stronger because you can then build around that. Again, that's not necessarily a factor for at the time because they had no idea that X years later they would introduce a new card type. I'm just saying that it's even better this way because you can be like, oh look, all my planeswalkers are fine. So, but I mean, it's Pernicious Deed.
Yeah.
I feel like it's mythic.
It is a giant, okay, just destroyed literally everything. Screw it.
You either play it and activate it immediately to be like, just all this stuff is gone. I don't want to deal with it. Maybe I don't even want you to untap. It's gone. Or you're that guy and you play it with enough mana to activate it and it sits there. Everybody's been under the disc, right? Who loves being under the disc?
Literally nobody.
Nobody.
Even the person that plays the disc, it's me, isn't happy about it. Okay, hang on. Is it mythic though, or did we just spend too many years reading Anthony Alonji articles?
I still feel like it's mythic because the wide range of things it can do. So, and the fact that it hits so much stuff, and the fact that it's versatile, like you have so much choice in where you want to set it. So, iconic moment, really cool art. Not the most important thing, but I feel like it's Mythic. Dirk, what do you think?
When was this one?
Pernicious Deed.
Oh, Pernicious Deed.
Yes.
I don't remember this one.
I was gonna say, I get the feeling Dirk has been otherwise.
It's been long.
occupied.
It's been so long. I don't remember. Where's Destroy?
It blows up everything.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And it's just sitting there. Yeah.
Okay.
Destroy each. Okay.
Yeah. The fact that you
I
can
would say
tune
that's
it,
Mythic.
the fact that you can tune it to leave like bigger things out is also pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Just making sure, just double checking that we hadn't just been poisoned by Alonji articles over the, several decades.
And that is a legit question. It really is. Because the man loves it. It just happens that in this case, he's not wrong. You know what isn't Mythic?
Anything else on this row?
Yeah. Prophetic
Power Stone,
Bolt.
Minefield, and Prophetic Bolt are both...
I have tried so long to make Prophetic Bolt good. And maybe somebody has had more success than I. But
you can't really make it good. It just does. It just does what it says in the text box, and that's it. Which is fine, but
it's just not exciting.
Yeah, 5 mana for 4 damage and essentially scry 4 almost. It's very narrow. I mean, it's very wide open, but it only does one thing, and it does it for 5 mana, and it's not great for 5 mana.
Okay.
It's not bad, but it's not great. I have taken it out of so many red-blue decks over the years.
You put it in, you're like, yeah, and then you're like...
It's like, finally, this is the deck that keeps the Prophetic Bolt, and then later I'm like, all right, Prophetic Bolt comes out.
Yeah, it's for a slow deck. It's kind of expensive. It deals 4 damage and it replaces itself, but it is kind of expensive. It's for a slower deck, and you only want to maybe have 2 copies in there anyway.
Suffocating Blast is another card that comes out of a lot of red-blue decks.
It's so hard to... There have been so many times when I'm like, I can't choose enough targets for Suffocating Blast. Ugh. And it's stuck in my hand.
Exactly. So, okay, moving up. What about, so we've got Lightning Angel and Mystic Snake here next to each other.
Two very, I feel like, iconic cards. Right? At this point. Mm-hmm. Wasn't Lightning Angel... Hey, wait. Weren't both of these on the time-shifted sheet?
They were.
Yes.
Oh, I remember Mystic Snake. But then,
so what's Desolation Giant?
It was.
It was. Did it get played?
I did.
And anybody else. Anyway, instead of talking about things that Mike did, no, I'm kidding.
But
I feel like when they reprinted Lightning Angel, it actually started to see some play again because it's kind of ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And then Mystic Snake is still Mystic Snake. So Lightning Angel, for 1, a white, a red, and a blue, it is a 3/4 angel. It has flying and haste and vigilance. It is like super efficient. And I can't imagine, because I wasn't playing at the time, in the Age of Apocalypse, when creatures just weren't super, how devastating this must have been. Just to be like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there and swing for 3 immediately. And a 4 toughness? Jeez. Is it Mythic? Maybe? You know, maybe because this is really good. This is this is a clock, like a really, really, really good clock, like an atomic clock. Somebody else say something, please.
I couldn't tell where you were going or if you were going to continue going. I mean,
Uh,
yeah, with 4 toughness, it's immune to lightning bolt. It's very immune to shock. And you cast it and immediately you start clunk. I think it's an acceptable tournament level mythic card. It's not ultra good or super broken. It's definitely not close to broken, but it's exciting. It's exciting, it's good, it's flashy.
Not everything, like we said, not everything has to be broken.
Mm-hmm.
I would say flashiness is probably more important than brokenness.
Yeah. Like a very good comparison to a more recent card is like Mantis Rider. Mantis Rider is this, except it costs 1 less and it's only a 3/3. Only having 3 toughness makes a big difference, and I don't think I would call Mantis Rider mythic by any stretch of the imagination. But something about Lightning Angel, I don't know. Especially if we're talking about making mythics back in the day.
Yeah. Okay. What about Mystic Snake? Snake.
I don't know. It's such a strange combination of effects and a unique combination of effects.
Did anything else do this at the time?
Not like this. No.
Not like this.
Not like
Mystic
this.
Not like this.
Thing.
So it's essentially counterspell because that's blue, and then a 2/2 for 2 just stapled together on the same card. So, like, you don't get a discount because counterspell was still a thing back then, not cancel. But you get them both on one card.
And anything like, I don't know, Cavern Harpy was in the previous set, right? So anything that would let you reset this. This was before the game had a ton of blink effects. Like, it had blink. Just blink.
I think it was called Flicker.
Flicker? Okay.
Yeah, and Flicker was a sorcery, wasn't it?
I think
That
so.
wouldn't surprise me. So you did not see that sort of effect nearly as much as you do now. But you still had other ways of getting it back. You still had other ways of reusing this effect because it's attached to a creature. And it's a counterspell that can block.
But
Which is
even
more-
without shenanigans, it's still just insanely efficient.
Yeah.
I don't know if that warrants mythic status necessarily.
I guess the question is, for someone that was playing at the time, how badly would they have been like, oh my god, that's amazing? And I don't know myself.
I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. I know lots of people were.
Well, something to keep in mind then.
Mm.
It's kind of in there with Lightning Angel in that it's big and flashy and super efficient, not like huge, like, oh wow, that's super costly and giant. But it does what it does so well, like so well, and it's not an effect we've really seen that I feel like it might be able to get there. Overgrown Estate, on the other hand,
No.
I think I might have zoned out during the end of the Lightning Angel conversation. I don't know if she would be mythic either. Like, I think just because she's really good doesn't, like, neither of these scream mythic to me. It's like if you had a spot left over, maybe.
Yeah, I think I would say both of these are question marks. So far, we said Spiritmonger and Pernicious Deed in gold, and then these are like if you really need something. But in my mind, there's 2 more that are almost absolutely mythic. So I don't know if you need to go there or not. Hint, it's not Fervent Charge.
Well, there goes my guess. Fine.
Goblin Trenches.
Wrenches.
No, no,
No.
no, no.
Yeah, definitely no.
Gilded Passage, Mike. What do you think?
This is another one where it's like, but if this were Mythic, that means I would have less of them.
That's true. This is a really awesome. I make fun of Mike, but let's face it, Gilded Passage,
It's guided passage.
Guided Passage. How many times have I said Gilded?
Just
Too
two.
many. Guided Passage is a really awesome card.
It's awesome.
I don't know that it's Mythic, but it's a really awesome card. I don't know. Somebody else?
I don't know. You get to, like, I mean, people look at it and they're like, but your opponent gets to choose for you. And I'm like, well, if you put good cards in your deck, then that's not a problem.
Did Mike just say get good?
I think
I
you
feel
might
like
have.
Mike. Yeah.
Did you hear the word scrub? I heard the word scrub.
Here they get no love.
If you put it in a deck that pretty much only has awesome cards in it, then you're always getting something great. You don't want to put it in a deck with a lot of like nifty situational things, because then you're going to get like, oh, thanks. Maybe I'll use this in 3 or 4 turns, or never. But if you just have it in a deck with a bunch of cool stuff, you're going to get some cool stuff.
It's also 3 mana, draw 3 cards.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
I still don't think it's Mythic, but it's really awesome.
For those listening who somehow haven't heard me read this several times before over the years.
Welcome to the mana pool.
Yeah. So the Oracle text, they changed the order of the mana symbols. Weird. So the printed card for blue, a red, and a green. For some reason in Oracle, it's green, blue, red. It's a sorcery. Reveal the cards in your library. An opponent chooses from among them a creature card, a land card, and a non-creature, non-land card. You put the chosen cards into your hand, then shuffle your library.
Seems good.
It's either Mythic or it's awfully close.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It's sometimes, depending on what deck you put it in, and depending on who you're playing against, you can get very different results. Like one of the decks I have it in, if I'm playing against my brother, I know exactly what I'm going to get every single time, because he settled on, okay, you're getting a lotus petal and a wall of blossoms and a forest there.
That sounds like what I would give you, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 3 mana for 3 magic cards.
Yep.
And again, as Mike has said, if you build the deck right, the 3 magic cards you're getting are ones that are going to be useful. And
I mean,
will benefit.
they are in your deck to begin with.
Right.
So
I still don't... It's just like... Yeah, okay, all of the things you said, but it's still just draw some cards.
I know. And I'm not trying to vouch for it really hard. It's just exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome, but I don't feel Mythic from this even slightly.
well, do you feel Mythic from Last Stand?
Maybe. This is
Yes.
not Coalition Victory, this is this other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for a Wooburg, so one of each color, it's a sorcery. Target opponent loses 2 life for each swamp you control. Last Stand deals damage to target creature equal to the number of mountains you control. You get a 1/1 sapperling for each forest you control. You gain 2 life for each plains you control. And you draw a card for each island you control, then discard that many cards. Thank goodness it's got that last part. Otherwise, this card would be ridiculous. So, okay. Let's go bare minimum here. If, without shenanigans, if you can Wooburg cast this, you're sucking 2 life out of your opponent, you're pinging a creature, you're getting a sap, and you're drawing a card you're looting once.
That's not very exciting.
Yeah, it's really not. I was hoping that would sound more impressive. For 5 mana, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But the point of this is to play after you've got, a bunch of land out and can do multiples of all of this stuff.
Right. Or you craft your deck in such a way that maybe you don't get as much of one thing as you get a whole lot of something else.
Yeah, you don't need to deal, 10 to a target creature.
But maybe you really want to suck 10 life out of, say, each target opponent.
Yeah, okay. God, no.
I don't know what, or I had to wait, what order are these in? So I had to look at that for a second. Sorry. So. I had
if
it.
you're curious about it, you can build to maximize just 1 or 2 of the effects.
Yeah.
If you're serious about it, you can build a deck that just, gets the swamp effect.
Yeah. I had it on here just because it's not the best, but it is potentially a big effect, and there are not a huge number of exactly Wooburg cards in the game, not even just in the set, but in the game at that point. Was Sliver Queen the first one, or was there something in Legends?
I don't know. I think 1997 World Champion was the first one, and Sliver Queen might have been the first real Magic card printed with Wooburg cost.
Yeah, I forgot about the World Champion one.
Well, it doesn't count, so.
Is it 97?
I have no idea. I know the card you're referring to, but I'm not sure what year that was. So my point is that there just weren't that was not something we'd seen a ton of. At this point, we have had far more Wooburg things, especially since the advent of Commander. But
yeah, Last Stand is a weird card, though. I don't even know how to think about it.
Yeah.
Like, I can easily see putting it in a deck that's, like, mostly black and green, so that you suck a lot of life out, you get a bunch of saps, and then there's just some other stuff going on. Maybe.
Yeah.
But
we got a comment in the chat about Dryad of the Elysian Grove from Theros Beyond Death. That makes all your lands all basic land types.
Holy crap, I had forgotten about that card.
There's a green enchantment that does that too. Costs 1 and a green and something. Prismatic Omen, is that right?
That's the one.
Yes. Oh, wow. This basically then says do 1 for each of this effect for every land you control. That's a lot better.
Wait, did Prismatic Omen do that, or did it just make them all tap? No, I think it did.
Yeah, it adds. Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Yeah.
It adds the land types.
Yeah. All right. So Last Stand is weird, and I don't know how to call it. Like, I could see them making it a mythic because look at all the weird text. But I can also see them not because it's not great.
It's all over the map.
It is definitely all over the map.
I mean, literally, all these lands, they're like, let's make a card that's all over the map. What would that even look like? And somebody's like, this.
And then they said, you're right, mission accomplished.
Now everyone go get a beer. All right, so we've only got 4 cards left. Fervent Charge, it ain't it.
Nope.
Fungal Shambler, ain't it.
No.
Nope. Fungal Shambler was a fun card, but
it's not.
Yeah, it's just a. Yeah. Fun fact: Fungal Shambler was the pre-release promo.
What language was it in?
Printed in Vedic Sanskrit.
Right. Don't you have one of those?
No, I do.
Yeah, that's why I asked. Don't you have one of those?
Oh, I didn't hear your entire sentence.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Sorry, the washing machine is on, so
Excuses.
not the washing machine, the dishwasher. The other machine that washes things in my house.
Do you have many such machines?
There's
At
many
least
machines.
Yeah.
See, I feel like Fungal Shambler would be the name that the Secret Service. Yeah, they're the people. They'd be like, that's gonna be his code name, Fungal Shambler.
Almost made through a whole episode.
Almost.
What about Death Grasp? I love me some Death Grasp. I don't think it's mythic.
I remember seeing Death Grasp and thinking, this is crazy, because it's Drain Life without all the clunky restrictions on it.
Yeah.
Like only spending black mana.
Only spending black mana and not being able to get more life than the creature has toughness or the player has life left.
Wow, I completely forgot about that in Drain Life. How about that?
Yeah.
But even
But does-
so, still not mythic.
Yeah, does
No.
being a better Drain Life make it mythic?
There are a lot of really good cards in this set that just aren't mythic.
Oh, yeah.
Which, most cards in the set aren't mythic, so
But I mean, there are cards that like I desperately love, and you guys like Death Grasp and Guided Passage, and possibly Lightning Angel and Mystic Snake and Vindicate that are really good, but not mythic good. You know what I mean?
yes.
So what about Chromat?
I think it could be. It's legendary. And it's weird. I gotta admit, much like Mike, I have a fond spot for weird cards.
Mm-hmm.
So what does Chromat do?
Chromat does all kinds of stuff.
Accurate.
What do you want it to do?
Chromat for Wooburg. It's a 5/5 legendary. What kind of legend is it? Legendary creature illusion. Illusion. Interesting.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Wait, really?
Must be some story stuff I wasn't aware of.
I-
Okay.
I don't look at this and think illusion, but maybe that's why. I'm fooled. Go ahead.
Okay, so it has 5 different activated abilities, and each of them costs 2 mana. It's a pair of enemy color mana. First one, white and a black. Destroy target creature blocking or blocked by Chromat. All right. Blue and a red. Chromat gains flying until end of turn. Black and a green. Regenerate Chromat. Red and a white. Chromat gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Green and a blue. Put Chromat on top of its owner's library.
What a weird ass card.
Yeah, all on a 5/5 for 5. The reason I first built my 5 color deck was because one time I went down to the card shop and I got some booster packs, and one of them was a booster of Apocalypse and the other was a booster of 7th edition. And my rares from those packs were Chromat and City of Brass.
Ha!
I'm like,
Dude.
well, I'm building a deck.
It's
I
a
don't-
sign.
I don't think I ever heard that story from you before.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that is totally relatable. Yeah, relatable. Yes, that is I see that as a logical chain of events.
Man, what a weird card. It was also like the go-to Wooburg commander for a very long time. Because
Yeah, if you weren't playing a Sliver deck.
yeah, because Sliver Queen was hard to come by. And there really weren't any other options.
No, yeah. Later on, pumpkin man thing came out.
The
Gosh.
Reaper King.
The Reaper
Reaper
King.
King, yes.
Pumpkin Man King. But as we've said before, with Sliver Queen, you might be running a Sliver deck, or you might just want to do all 5 colors. But Sliver Queen really was like, play slivers. I don't know how many people actually played Reaper King for hardcore Scarecrow tribal. I feel like it was a number approaching not many. I don't want to say 0 because somebody out there is like, oh, a Scarecrow tech.
Okay, Random KO pointed out Corona in chat. And sure, but Chromat was your go-to if you ever wanted to play your commander for anything ever. Like, Corona is just awful and provided you with the Wooburg colors.
And the contempt of your playmates.
And then we got Progenitalia. Oh. And then I built a 5-color commander deck. Are you Progenitalia? Turns out I am. Take that any way you want. It lines up. It's accurate.
If you think he meant whatever by it, you're
right.
not wrong.
Or you could go with was it the Sliver Overlord? And then just put the one that goes and hunt and goes and finds slivers.
That one was printed in Time Spiral, so you had a little while to wait on. Although that
No,
actually
that's
would have.
Sliver Legion. Sliver Overlord was printed in Onslaught block.
Oh, really? Oh,
It was
okay.
Scourge, yeah, Scourge.
Okay.
Is a
And then you could
Togatog
just use
legendary?
Conspiracy and
Random
everything
KO
to
asked
sliver.
about a Togatog. Yeah, it's legendary. Was a Togatog Invasion?
A Togatog was Onslaught.
Really?
Odyssey.
Thank you. I used the wrong O.
Yeah. I was like, I know it was an Onslaught, and yeah. I completely didn't realize that a Togatog was legendary.
Mm-hmm.
I have literally never seen anyone talk about an Togatog commander deck. I'm sure it happened, but I personally have never seen it, where I've heard lots of, just use Chromat, he's 5 colors, back in the day, you know, in the earlier days of Commander, which still wasn't a thing yet at this point.
I have had an Togatog for the longest time. Every now and then I take it out to look at it, and I'm like, yeah, you still exist. Technically, yes.
I just love his art, because there's a Chronotog, and there's a Tog, and there's, crap.
Aratog.
Aratog is this one. Who's the blue one? Is that the, damn it.
That weird colored one is Necrotog, and I guess that's supposed to be Faratog peeking out from under the Aratog.
Probably, yeah. It's just a large mess. Anyway. Let's get him off the screen. He scares me. So, we didn't really make that many decisions about the cards in this. We had a lot of disagreements. Other than Spiritmonger and Pernicious Deed.
Green-black for the win.
Yeah.
Something like
I could
that.
see Chromat, and I could see Last Stand, but I could also not see Last Stand, and I guess Lightning Angel or Mystic Snake if they wanted to round out a number.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, a bunch of these are either neat because they're color combination, or they're just really solid and not mythic.
Yeah. But still like this set quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay, Hiccups.
But,
yeah, the set is pretty cool. Like Penumbra Worm and the Desolation Giant and Phyrexian Arena. There's just so much good stuff that's maybe not mythic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Legacy Weapon, which is mythic as all hell.
Yeah.
You mean this Indicate? You. Still some of the
So-
finest magic-based comedy to have ever existed.
It really
So there
is.
are 24 togs.
Oh, Lord.
Not all of them are togs. Because ban together, ban together, cartographer.
Well, that's why you search for ATOG.
Creature type.
Because just TOG
Well, I
is-
know. I just typed it into Google and was like, well, let's see if it like comes up with a creature. And it was like, no, here's a search for on magic. And I'm like, oh, really? Let's see what happens.
Remind me to have Dirk killed.
I know.
Alexa,
Drawn
Remind
together.
remind Chewie to kill Dirk.
Ah, yes. I
Empowered
unplugged mine
odd
because
tog generator.
You
Dirk, I'm going to
unplugged-
come to your house and punch you in the head.
Why did you unplug it?
Dirk, I need your... Send me your address so I'll know where to come punch you in the head. It's been so long I don't remember how to get there. And he then gives me Brian's address. And I punch Brian in the head.
You can't tell us apart? Well, the way my COVID hair is looking right now, you probably can't.
Not when I'm in a crazy blind, a head-punching rage.
Oh, I got
Just
the last
problem
two
you have-
ATOGs. I got the
Is
last two ATOGs backwards. The blue one with the spines on its head was Faratog, and the weird one underneath was Necrotog.
Oh, okay. How
How dare
how
you?
dare you?
You need to go to a TOG
Sensitivity.
Thank you.
There's
Um,
Lithatog, Megatog, Necrotog, Vantatog,
I missed
Psychotog.
Megatog. Megatog was awesome.
Sarcatog,
Megatog was awesome.
Maybe he'll be mythic when we get to Mirrodin.
Thaumatog.
It's not Thermatog?
Thaumatog.
Thaumatog. Okay.
We need to have like a Mega Man game, but instead of Mega Man, it's Megatog. Oh wait, there we go.
Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do.
Oh god. All right, I think we should wrap it up. What?
You think? Yeah.
Excuse me.
I like how we ended this episode about apocalypse discussing Atogs.
A card from the next set. We are good at this. Let's say.
I
So,
know
tell
I
you
am.
what, before the dorks do their final thoughts, I'm going to say, hey, if you want to help support what I do with the YouTube videos and the streaming and the podcasts and all that, you should go check out patreon.com/themanapool, where you can get stuff. The odds and ends, which I'm back to working on, because they're, even though they're depressing, they got to get out. I got 2 posted yesterday, actually. Yesterday? Day before? Whenever that was.
Time has no meaning.
Yeah. But, like, listening to... one was Us. It was the Manapool 588. And it was very lighthearted and whatever. And then Monday Night Magic 688 was... It got dark. It got real dark at one point. And I was like, Jesus, do I leave all this in? And then I realized, yes, because it got real dark. And that's what we were all thinking about back then. And these were in April. We were such sweet summer children, as the kids say these days, when we had
Yes.
no idea what was coming. And that, I don't know if I've explained that on this show. I think I have. That's why I'm so far behind on the odds and ends, because listening to us think things were really bad and couldn't get any worse, and then looking around at how things have done nothing but get worse, it's not... It's kind of hard. By kind of hard, I mean it's extremely hard to listen to unless I'm having an extremely good headspace day. So that's why those are so far behind. And the further that the world spirals into darkness, the harder it gets to go back and listen to us complain about it spiraling into darkness back then, when the sun was still shining bright.
Well, let's be fair. The sun was not bright then. It wasn't. Otherwise, we would have had nothing to complain about. we just weren't in the depths of the gravity well of the black hole yet. So
Exactly. Yeah,
Hey,
comparatively, the sun was very bright. But anyway,
You
those I am working on. I'm finding myself in better headspace here and there, and I've got a whole bunch of them ready to be listened through, and a whole bunch of them. The audio's been ripped already. I just have to put them together. So those are gonna start coming out rapid fire very soon. Like I said, I think it was 2 posted. I think yesterday, might have been the day before. If you're listening to this not live, it was last week. So yay! But anyway, so I want to give a thanks to our Mythic lifeguards in I don't know what order this is, so I'll just read it. Rafe Gall, Al, Kim Ho, Scuzzo, John Parker, Jake Jansen's Beardy Man, excuse me, Team You Hellas How Are You, PJ McMullen, The Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine, Jason Kaus, Andrew Hunt, Aleph Cat, didn't scroll, Cody Buckowing, Casey, Jeff Spencer, Gothic Man, Danny Leal, Jason Doan, oh, wait a minute, Connor Kennedy, Backwards Logic, and ALK Alters. Yay! And to all of the lifeguards at every tier, thank you so much. You quite literally make it possible for me to keep doing this. Also, you get early access to YouTube videos, which I'm going to have a lot of coming again here soon. Well, already. The Super Mario 64 videos are going up, as are Among Us videos, which the kids seem to love the Among Us these days, and I am one of the kids. So...
I'm gonna watch a video of Chewie playing, not chewing, Among Us, in a little bit.
I try to add some more flair to those videos, which you'll understand when you watch some editing nonsense and occasionally a Metal Gear Solid alert sound, and the bring,
Yeah, I don't even play Metal Gear Solid. I know that sound you're talking
slow mo replays. There was in the second Among Us video, which I think goes public tomorrow. There was a stack kill. While we were all in a stack, and I was starting a task, so I didn't even see the kill happen, but it happened on my screen. I was busy trying to pull up a task to do, and I pulled up a task, and then it said body reported. And I was like, what? And watching the replay, I was like, oh my god, I didn't even see that happen. So I got a slow-mo replay of that, which was terrifying. A stack kill is when everyone is standing, relatively close together because you can clip through each other because it's a simple little 2D game. And so a bunch of us were standing together and someone went for a stack kill and we weren't stacked quite as well as they would have liked. And it got reported immediately, and then they got called out immediately. It was pretty funny at the time. I was like, I don't know what just happened, y'all. So, yeah. But anyway, that's what's coming up on the YouTube channel. Yeah. All right, so final thoughts. Dorks.
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, so I have
Brian.
I have a question for the people that know science, which is everybody but me, but specifically Dark, and then I guess Chewie knows a thing or two about physics. So, black holes.
Yes.
I'm familiar with the concept. Do we have any idea if a planet or other object is caught in the event horizon and is slowly spiraling in, right?
Okay.
Right, and it's being pulled around and kind of in a spiral. Do we know how long an object can be in an event horizon before it's
Okay,
crushed?
well, the event horizon isn't what you're thinking it is. The event horizon is the point at which nothing ever gets out again. So once it crosses the event horizon, for all intents and purposes, it's gone and we'll never see it again.
And you can't see anything going into it past that point.
I have thought of a different way to phrase my question. Is it possible for a planetary object to orbit a black hole?
Yes.
Yes.
Like
Just
if
like
our
any-
sun were to
Just like
suddenly,
any other star. Yeah.
yeah, if our sun were to suddenly become a black hole just without any sort of explosion or anything, we would maintain the same orbit we have right now because the amount of mass
Yeah.
didn't change, and that's all that really matters with.
Okay.
If it were suddenly a black hole of the exact same mass, then none of the planets would be disturbed from their current orbits.
Yeah, it would just get a lot colder.
And they, yeah, like a lot, and we would not be drawn in immediately.
Right. Yeah, we wouldn't be drawn in at all because if it had the same mass, then it has the same gravitation. So we would just keep on our merry way while we froze to death.
Okay. I asked this question because this is something I don't think almost any listener would know because it's not something I talk about. But I used to do creative writing, and for a while I thought, is this going to be, like my way of putting bread on the table and then eating said bread? And I discovered that I don't really have a head for deadlines. At least I can do it for court work and stuff like that, but for creative writing, it's more of an outlet for me versus a structured thing. And I went to the beach with the family a long time in July, when we thought back in March, we're like, well, that'll be fine. All this will be done by then. But we went to the beach and basically sequestered in the beach house and almost didn't leave. And I took a notebook and I had a germ of an idea for a story in my head for the longest time, and it felt so good. I took hours and I just started to fill the thing up. And one of my plot points that I haven't even gotten to yet, because I started working on some of the backstory, and the backstory took up, like, I was having a lot of fun with that anyway, had to do with whether or not you could, and I didn't feel like Googling it. So I thought, let me just ask these guys. And now it's been another 2.5 months. And I'm like, you know what? Let me ask this before I forget. So thank you for that.
Also, if something did get nudged towards it, because the difference in gravity is a function of distance, right?
Right.
Because once you get close enough, the difference in gravity from the edge of the thing that's closest to the black hole and the edge that's further away, the difference in gravitational pull on those two things is so strong that it would just sort of split apart.
Yeah, once you get too close. The difference in the tidal forces on each side are too much.
Yeah, the thing is, the example that's always used is if you are falling feet first towards a black hole, then something called spaghettification will happen, because as the gravity gets stronger and stronger and stronger on your feet, they will actually stretch out and spaghettify, and it's gross.
I don't want to be turned into spaghetti, so
I mean, you'd be dead long before that happens, so that's fine. But
okay, thank you for that information. On a personal note, I'm doing just fine.
On a personal note, I'm not falling towards a black hole. Thank you very much.
I am not spaghetti. And then on a gaming level, I have, you may have seen, if you read Penny Arcade, that at least 3 of their last comics in the last week have dealt with a game called Genshin Impact. I had heard about this prior to it coming out, so I downloaded it on the very first day it came out. And it's always nice to get in on something on the ground floor instead of like 4 years in when everybody else is level 50 million and you're like, I have a stick. So I've been playing it a little bit, and I've been at home with not a whole lot of court the last week, so I've kind of dug into it. Now there's people that I think got to ridiculous levels on day one because gamers got a game.
It's a gotcha game, yeah.
But this game is basically Breath of the Wild, and so for me, I haven't looked at any guides except for like how to craft weapons and things, and otherwise I have refused any maps or anything like that. I'm just going around like looking for treasure chests and poking holes in things, and it's a lot of fun. So if you've heard about it and you're afraid, oh, you have to pay money, you don't. I have not paid anything for this, but it's really fun. So, yeah.
I saw I think it was a 3-minute review on the Escapist YouTube channel
Okay.
where the person that wrote that said this is really weird to say about a gacha game, but it's easily the best game I've played all year. And I was like, "What?"
It's 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 really good. I am very much enjoying it. So, and it's one of those things where I almost wish I had a little more time to play it, but I'm not willing. As much as fun as it is, I'm not going to sit down and play it for like 6 hours a day the way I think some people do. But it's also pretty much all player versus environment. If there's a PvP mode, I haven't unlocked it yet, so there's no rush. I'm just being like, this place is cool.
I don't remember. I remember they said that some ridiculous number of hours in, it unlocks co-op.
Yes, and I have not gotten that far yet.
My brain is telling me like 50 hours, but I don't know if that's right or if I'm just misremembering.
And I think again, some people can like power through. Basically, you have a character. You have characters, but you also have a player level, and your player level is not something that you can just like buy. At least I don't think so. You get experience points for your player by exploring and opening chests and performing story quest things. So it's encouraging you to go out and do all these things. So I'm at 10, which I think is fairly reasonable. It's honestly probably a bit slow because there's been one or two times in the last week where I literally opened it up, played around for maybe half an hour, and then shut it down. So if I was really in there every day, like really, really doing, I think I'd be further along. But I'm fine with that. I think co-op opens around 16 or something, but I have not I have not been avoiding guides, but I have not been purposely going out and looking for anything because I just want to explore. I just want to try out this game without being like rah.
Wait, you mean you want to treat it as a game? What?
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. So there you go. So personal, everything's going okay. Gaming, this game's pretty cool. Giving it a shot, and then doing a little bit of writing, and maybe I'll talk about that at some other point. But I'm one of those writers that, while I'm working on an idea, no one sees it like until I'm 150% sure it's good. So probably will never see the light of day. But I'll let you know if that changes. That's it. That's it for me, and I'm gonna go ahead and go, and I will talk to you guys later.
All right. Well, have a good night, B.
You too.
So for me, mine is my final thought is Aratog looks like somebody took a picture, like printed out a picture of a little gremlin, and then tried to cut it out and paste it onto a magic card. Tell me I'm wrong.
Wait, what just happened?
Aratog. Aratog looks like somebody printed off a picture of an imp and then glued it to a magic card.
Oh, because of the way the art looks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what in the hell is Dirk talking? Yep.
Like, I'm going through the togs and going, Aratog is the silliest looking art of all the togs.
All right, for chat, let me pull this up just in case anyone is like, wait, what does Zartog look like again? Yeah. It does look like someone sort of pasted that there with some Elmer's glue.
So yes, that is like when it was final thoughts. It's like Brian, go first because I'm just sitting on this one. I'm just going, how am I going to explain this? So, echoing a little bit of Brian, except for the whole creative writing thing. I've everything's going pretty well. Trevor's team has they got spanked really hard on Tuesday night, and they only kind of got spanked last night.
Hey,
Um,
progress.
yeah. Last night was the first time Trevor, whenever it came to batting, was hesitant in batting. Like when I was talking to him at the end, like he's one of these kids that if the ball is outside of his batting, he doesn't swing at it. And if it's within his ability to swing, he's going to swing at it, and usually he'll hit the ball. Now it's not going to go like soaring into the outfield, but I mean he can get a hit, and he'll either get thrown out at first or he'll make it to first. So it's like sort of like a 50-50 shot on that one. But last night was the first time he went up to hit, and he was swinging at balls that are like a foot above his head, which in baseball is not something you do. He's like, no, if it's up there, you leave it alone. You're not playing tennis. Your bat is not wide enough to play that game. And so he got struck out last night, both times, and it had to do with he was just swinging at stuff that was like, why are you swinging at that? You've never swung at that stuff. And apparently the first time the guy pitched, he almost beamed Trevor, and that made Trevor batting shy. And like when I was talking to him on the way home, and so I think that got him worried that he was going to get hit. And I mean, he watched one of his players, like the guy 3 batters in front of him, got hit by the ball. And I think between almost being beamed and then watching one of his teammates get beamed, I think the impression I'm getting from him is that he got a little batting shy with regards to hitting, and so he was just like, I just want to swing at something I feel comfortable swinging at, and so that's why he was swinging at stuff that's way above his head. Is that I think he felt that that was something he wasn't going to get hit by, and he was just like, I'm just going to swing at this. So that was an interesting thing that happened yesterday. And then in terms of games, I decided I was tired of playing Andromeda, mostly because I'm far enough into the game where they're like, you need to go back to this settlement and there's this stuff going on, and now I'm into the game where it's less of you're actually pathfinding and establishing locations, and it's more like, yeah, you're doing that, but you also got to make sure you got to go back to your old settlements and do these like pointless side quests and everything. And so I'm getting kind of tired of that. So I decided to do the ultimate game of side quests and randomness. I decided to play a Final Fantasy game. And the one I decided to jump off first with was Final Fantasy VIII Remastered.
I don't know how I knew it, but I knew that the number 8 was going to come out of your mouth, and then I was going to be disappointed in you.
Well, I mean, I actually have all of them from 3 to 15, except for the MMO ones.
Well, yeah.
And I officially have all of them now. And I thought, if I'm going to play one, I might as well play 8, because I'll play it, get done with it, and then I'll probably not touch it for a very long time. And Trevor's watching me play and go, so you're drawing all this stuff out, and then you're not going to play any of the spells? And I'm going, no, because if you draw all this stuff up and then you start casting the spells, then your stats go down. He goes, oh.
And how old is Trevor?
He is 9.
I like the way you said that with a question mark at the end.
I'm going, it's sort of like my age. Whenever people are like, how old are you? And I have to sit there for a minute and go, I don't know. I'm old enough that I can buy stuff. I'm old enough I'm getting gray hairs and going bald. So I'm old and I'm not like, check my ID kind of old. I can definitely rent a car.
See, whenever someone asks me how old I am, I have to do math. Okay, hang on.
I know, that's sort
It's like
of my issue. I'm like,
1980.
I am
Okay.
between 30 and 40.
Is it November yet? No, okay.
That's sort of my go-to is that if I'm not one of the 5 value numbers, like a number that can be multiplied or divided by 5, then I don't know. I'm between this range.
But the reason I ask how old Trevor is because at 9, he's already figured out that this system is stupid.
Yeah, well, again, I'm explaining it to him, and I'm watching, and it's like, yeah, I have to draw these out, and he's watching me spend like 5 minutes drawing out the spells out of these creatures, and he's just looking and being super bored, watching me draw
Exactly.
these spells out of the creatures, and then like, yeah, and then when I do this, I'm gonna actually go and do stuff, and he's just like, oh, why can't you play Final Fantasy VII? Because at least in Final Fantasy VII, it was just, yeah, you have to grind, but at least you're working towards something. Like, just put some materia on your sword or your stuff, and when you just grind through, at least you're automatically leveling up stuff.
Yeah.
So he's, like I say, he's already realizing that it was a good try, Squaresoft. It was a good idea, but it was not really something like, if it had just been draw this spell out, okay, awesome, you have this spell now. That would have been fine.
Squee is in the chat and he said Final Fantasy VIII, where the spells don't work and the levels don't matter. They do matter because if you level up too far, the bosses can kill you faster.
Because I think that was one of those things, is that if you level up too fast or go through it, then they automatically tier up, and if that means you have to do more grinding, because if you don't, like you said, the bosses will just grind you to pieces.
I actually just last week finished up the Kanan Rince episode on Final Fantasy VIII, where they explained that you have to spend forever drawing a bunch of spells out of a bunch of things and then never using them and then junctioning them to things and weapons and armor and stats and stuff. And then you have one party that you use all the time for leveling and stuff, and then you have the other 3 that you don't ever level that you switch to when there's a boss you can't beat, because the boss's level is based on the average level of your party. And I was like, and there were still members of that discussion who were like, I really like this game. And I'm like, why? It's just one big system that you have to, like, exploit. It's not fun to play. Anyway.
So, yeah.
Just a minor rant there.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I didn't get very far into Final Fantasy VIII because I hated it.
I actually did beat it. I did get around, because it was actually the first Final Fantasy game on the PlayStation 1 that I actually owned. Because I didn't get around to buying 7 until after I bought 8. So I have a little bit of nostalgia for it. But again, it's the one that if I don't play it now, then I'm going to be hesitant to go back and play it later. So it's like I said, I just have to do it now, because I would rather go back and play old 7. I would rather play the original 7 than and just like play that one multiple times than go and play Final Fantasy VIII that many times. I will probably play it. I'll play it now, and I may pick it up another time in the far off future, but that's about it.
I get it. You got to start with the worst.
Be like, I don't remember this game being that bad, and then I'll play and go, oh yeah, now I remember why whenever it was like 8, it was, nah, I'd rather play 9. I'd rather play 10. I'd rather play anything but 8. It's like, I will play Mega Man X 15 million times. I might play Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy 8. So that's sort of my little thought and everything is doing that. And then, yeah, I don't know which one I'll do after that, but I sort of got to work my way through Final Fantasy 8 before I make a decision on the next one. And again, hopefully wondering, and this was a discussion I had with Chewy last week, is I'm hoping at some point that Kingdom Hearts will get released on PC and that Final Fantasy VII Remake will get released on PC at some point. And the word is that 7 will eventually make it, but that will be after the exclusivity rights for Sony go up, which means it's going to probably be like a year or two before that happens. Which, by the number of games I have yet to play, I'm fine with that. By the time it'll probably take me to get through 8, that'll probably be when that happens. So, but the Kingdom Heart one is like it's just making me go, why haven't you guys done that yet? Because Kingdom Hearts has been out for, 3's been out for over a year now, which I understand wanting to be like, no, 3 doesn't need to hit PC just yet. Why not the other one?
That's true, actually. If they released like the Kingdom Hearts catch-up collections on PC, I would probably have them and actually play through them. Weird. That's never occurred to me before, but Dirk, I think you've just made me realize that.
Like, I really enjoy the Kingdom Hearts series. 2 is still hands down my favorite, with Dream Drop Distance being Birth by Sleep, Birth by Sleep being a really close second.
I really liked Monkey Nut Squash. That's not a real one, is it?
No.
Damn, I was hoping I could just fit 3 words together and it would be a believable Kingdom Hearts title.
There have been a couple that, like Dream Drop Distance is like, so it's a tongue twister, huh? And then you have one that's in 7 days or something like that. It's 361 in 14 days or something like that. Like, it's one of those ones that you look and go, was that someone's kid's math assignment? And so they just were like, here, let me type it in this so I can, and I'll get back to you in a minute. And they just hit save and didn't realize that, oh no, you can't undo that save. And that was the game. That's where the name of the game came from. So, I don't know. But like I said, I'm hoping at some point to like, I've got all the Final Fantasies on PC that you can have. They're not 1 or 2, or the online ones, and so I'll eventually get through them.
All right then.
So with that, I'm off to bed. So have a wonderful night, guys.
Okay.
All right.
Night, Zerk. Dirk just went off.
Yeah. For some reason I wasn't able to get this from context. Was Final Fantasy the one with Squall or the one with that kid with the tail?
Squall, yeah.
Okay.
Zidane was 9.
Zidane. That's what his name was. Okay.
God, I loved Final Fantasy 9. Like, the story, the graphic style, the world, the mechanics. God, I loved Final Fantasy 9. I loved it so much, I stopped playing Final Fantasy after that. They were like, Final Fantasy X. I went, nope!
Final Fantasy X was the only one I ever played.
Like, I have experienced perfection. I'm good. I've heard a lot of people say they love 10. I bought it from, I think, Lost Ark or one of those other used game places. I saw it somewhere for a couple bucks, and I went, you know what? I'll buy that. I might play it at some point. And then I made playing games my job, so now I don't play games anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Sadly, I didn't actually finish Final Fantasy X. I spent too much time wandering around the last area with a no encounters thing equipped because I was just trying to explore, and then I ended up wandering into like the final boss battle, and I wasn't leveled up enough to beat it. And I was like, well, damn. I was kind of stuck in a weird spot because the last time I had saved was in a place where I don't think it was very safe for me to wander very far to actually fight the monsters that were there because I was so under leveled. Yeah, I messed that up.
Chewie got out when the overworld map got out. There's not an overworld map for 10?
No, not really.
See, that makes my head hurt, because that's what Final Fantasy is in my head, because literally all of them were an overworld map.
Yeah, when there was no overworld map, and when you went to the airship, you just picked from specific places to fly to. It wasn't a free flying thing.
Lame. That's why I stopped at 9, because damn the man, we need an overworld map, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. So what you got, Mike? Anything?
Not really. I haven't been playing games lately. Except kind of playing Hearthstone. I don't know whether I've already fallen behind on some part of the special event that's been going on.
There's a special event?
Yeah, something for Hallow's End, since it's October.
Oh, the dual class arena is going on right now.
Yeah, and dual class arena, special tavern brawls, and the legendary quests, daily quests that give you packs, and blah blah blah.
I really should do one of the dual class arenas since it gives you a free ticket, so I can get that stupid legendary quest off of my stupid quest line.
Mm-hmm. It was good. I was able to rack up 5 wins this time.
Nice.
Yeah. It's fun. The only time I've ever gotten to max wins was another dual class arena.
I have never gotten 12 wins. I think I got 11 once, maybe?
Yeah. You have to get something truly ridiculous together.
Yeah. I also just suck at arena, so. And hiccups. So, anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're surviving work, barely.
Yeah. It's getting there.
As for me, like I said, we play Among Us on Fridays. If you're in the Manipool Discord server, you can feel free to chime in and say, I want to play. You just have to be on a call, because it is still for streaming and for YouTube, so like it's content. So you have to be on the call and follow the rules of muting and deafening and whatnot, but that's easy enough. I set up keybinds so I can mute and deafen using my number pad. Ooh. As someone who doesn't play games with a keyboard, that's actually amazing that I set up keybinds for a different program while playing a game with a keyboard. So, shut up. Let me have this, all right? Everyone's like, and? Shut up. This is big. This is huge for me, all right? But, yay, Among Us. And I'm playing Mario 64. And we did announce, in case you missed it, that for Monday Night Magic 699, we did announce that 700 would be the end for now. We're going to take an extended hiatus because Magic sucks. Wizards of the Coast sucks. The world sucks. And honestly, we just don't have the drive at the moment to keep trying to force weekly Magic news, especially when there isn't weekly Magic news. So it's like every 3 weeks there's enough to do an episode. And that makes like scheduling things awful, because we don't know if there's going to be an episode until 2 or 3 o'clock that day. Invariably, either Bill or Clues will send a message like, "We doing a show tomorrow?" And the answer is always, "I have no idea. Are they going to ban anything tomorrow? We don't know." And it's just become it's a different world. But you can listen to 6.99 for the bigger explanation, and then come back this Monday. If you're listening to this, the day it comes out goes public tomorrow. Monday, October 12th, we're going to do episode 700, where we'll go into more detail about stuff, and we'll also talk about Worlds, or whatever it's called, the end of the season, the grand finals. I don't know what the hell you call it these days, because that's the other thing. Magic Organized Play is a giant disorganized clown fiesta. So we just happened to see that the grand finals for the season, the partial season, were next week. And we're like, hey, we'll do episode 700 next week, I guess, because there will be news. Sweet.
Wow.
So, yeah. It's ridiculous. The whole thing. So, yeah, if you're just now hearing this, sorry you had to hear it now in this fashion, but this recording's been going for very long because Dirk went off on his final thought. And so did Brian, weirdly enough. So, yeah, we're just trying to make it relatively quick. But yeah, for more information, $6.99 and then 700 will have a lot more. Yeah. But am I doing anything? I finally watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 again. You remember months and months and months ago I was doing a MCU rewatch? That came to a screeching halt for no real reason. Like it's Civil War. I was like, Civil War's a bummer. I don't want to watch Civil War. And then I didn't for several months. And then I finally watched it, and then Doctor Strange. And then last night I watched Guardians 2, which is still awesome. Hey. And I watched the Dresden Files TV show. It's on the IMDb app, so you can watch it in Prime. It just has ads. Mm-hmm. But if you ignore its connection to the books as source material, it's just a fun little supernatural cop show. It only had 12 episodes. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It was all right. It was pretty good. I liked it. I watched it once years ago when I first got Netflix, and I didn't even make the connection when I started reading the books. But I watched it again last week or this week or whenever, and yeah, it's cute. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Just don't get mad at the changes they made. It's just a cute little supernatural cop show. I know he's not a cop, but he works with a cop. Shut up. So there you go. That's my recommendation. Go watch the Dresden Files TV show with an open mind. But that's enough out of us. So this has been the Mana Pool number 603. Yeah, thank you all so very much for joining us, and sure, go play some Magic or some Kingdom Hearts, or just don't play Final Fantasy VIII.